And we're here.
We're live.
Hello,
We're in the show.
everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome in.
What up?
Welcome in to the stream. We're going to be talking about Smite 1
Smite 1.
in this segment. You guys got to hear a lot about Smite 2, all the cool things that are coming to Smite 2, but
That's
we
true.
haven't forgotten that Smite 1 is still getting some updates, so we're going to talk about the next one here. I'm J-Mac. I've got Dandy and Lermy joining me as we're going to talk about patch 11.11, and it's a darn shame that the calendar didn't land to where we could release it on 11.11.
It was
I know.
close.
We're so close. What is it, like 14 or something like that? I think it'll
Yeah.
be. We're almost there.
So we were
guys.
close. Almost for patch 1111 on day 1111. So
It would have been so nice.
It would have been
1111.
glorious.
And we released it at 1111 in the morning.
Yeah, 11 a.m.
So crazy. But
Wow.
It could have been.
it could have been the
One of
dream,
these years,
but
yeah.
unfortunately the stars just didn't align this time. Maybe in a couple of, well, no, because then we'll be past the 11s. I was going to say in a few years we
December,
would line
December 12th, maybe.
up. Ooh, yeah, maybe we get the 12-12
Ooh, for
or
next
12-12.
year?
Ooh,
Okay,
all right,
alright.
we're already thinking well
A
ahead.
lot of potential. So, but either way, excited to get in and talk about it. It's been a long
Yeah.
time with the 6-week update.
Yeah.
We've kind of been quiet
It's
on the
been a
Smite 1
minute.
front. We had the bonus patch rollout a while ago, but
Yeah.
it has been a minute since we've been able to dive in. So I'm excited that we get the chance to talk about this. I know patch notes are currently live right now,
They sure
so you can
are.
follow along as we talk about what changes you can expect and why those changes happen for the most part. So, I mean, super exciting stuff. I guess off the top, to talk about some things, I mean, in a second here, I'd say we have some download running so we can hop in and check out the new skins, which we're going to be able to get into for a sec. But I guess, are y'all excited about this upcoming update?
It really is going to be awesome. I know a lot of the stuff with the battle pass and changes that we're making to that are going to be really cool.
Yeah,
and
excited
of
to talk
course,
about that.
just a lot of really awesome god buffs and god nerfs. I know that we've been sitting kind of on the same meta for a little bit. What's good, what's not good over
Yeah.
in Smite 1 land. So we're hoping to shift things up a little bit there and give you guys some new things to try.
Yeah, and I guess I'll dive into what you just mentioned there for a second. So and I can go over this again as we talk about the skins, but something that you'll see at the top of the patch notes is we are actually kind of making a change to the way the battle pass system is working, and that we're rolling back towards those battle passes of yore that you were used to, that Smite ran for a long time. So this next pass isn't going to specifically be a cross-gen pass, but it will be a battle pass that returns to one of our more favorited recent battle passes, the Blast from the Past, except this one is called Bites from the Past. So you can hop in and check out a variety of different cosmetics and earn a variety of different cosmetics from throughout Smite history. Stuff that has been unavailable for a long time or hard to get your hands on will be available through this pass. So it'll be a cool way for you to kind of pick up on little pieces throughout Smite history, and we can talk more about that when we get into it. But yeah, there's, like I said, a lot of cool stuff to go through. This will be a fun bit of time to talk, and always fun to go back and talk some Smite 1 after so much cool Smite 2 news only moments ago.
In case anybody's wondering, I'm currently stalling trying to get the Smite dev update in, so that way we can jump in and show off the skins that are going to be coming in this patch.
Which we're actually about to get ready to do. So that'll
We
be cool.
we were originally weren't going to have the ability to, so because we were at like a 14-hour download going off of one of the Wi-Fi's that we were connected to. We got an Ethernet plugged in. It sped it up. Now I'm installing it and getting the redistributables.
We're almost there. We're almost
Yeah,
there.
we're at
That's
the
a fun word
classic.
to say.
I asked, I was like, hey,
Redistributables.
I was like, do you think chat would mind if we hopped over and asked for, changed the wait screen from 6 minutes to 15 hours? And turns out,
No, probably
Yeah,
not.
it turns out Chad is not really the one
Bit
to
of
wait
an-
15 hours to jump in.
yeah, a bit of an
Oh.
internal conflict.
Okay,
so.
if anyone from production is listening, would someone be able to update that command for the patch notes to our new patch notes, since those are live right now for y'all to take a look at? That would be
True.
very appreciated at production.
The
if you
Bites
guys
from
are
the
in
Past
there.
update 11.11.
Yes,
Or
if
11
anybody,
or 11.
if anybody does have that, that would be awesome on the production end. If not, if Elk lore is hanging around, I know Elk has permission to update the commands as well. I don't know if Elk is hanging around at the moment. Otherwise, I would update it, but I'm currently right here, so
True.
I don't have the power or the capacity to do so.
In this cool room, sitting where so many legends have sat.
We are currently trying to open.
Well, we
at
can show
least-
off art for now, maybe. And,
Yeah,
and get
yeah,
into
so let's
looking
start
at
off
them
with the
later.
art.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get
Do a
this
little
one
swap
here.
around
Yeah.
here.
There we
Yay.
go.
Cool,
Oh, let's
so-
get the cameras with it for now,
Hey.
just so we can be a little fancy.
Fancy. All right, so yeah, we have the Bites from the Past 11.11 going out next week on Thursday, I believe, so the 14th, if I'm remembering correct.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can go down and look at the 3 skin arts. So.
Oh, what in the world are we already
Yeah.
checking
Oh,
out
these
here?
are excellent ones.
And as you can tell by the little S2, these are all cross-gen,
Oh, yeah.
cross-gen, of course.
Let me
yeah.
let me pull
Cross-gen,
the cams off so they
cross-gen.
can see the
Can
full
we
glory
make 'em
here.
bigger? Can you click on the images and open them?
No, I cannot.
Dang.
That's right. We'll be seeing them in game.
They're cool. We'll see them.
shortly
Yeah, we'll see them in game. That's true. That's true.
I mean, we could probably just dive right into balance, I guess, and then end on the skins if y'all want.
Yeah,
Let
sure.
that-
you know, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Here's your sneak peek, guys. We'll get into balance and we'll come back here in a moment.
Yeah.
Well, several moments actually, but
So you can see up here at the top, just kind of a rerun of what I said about the way the battle passes are changing. So just wanted to let everybody know right up the front. But there's a bunch of really cool stuff you can get. And this one is themed. Unlike the Blast from the Past, the Bites from the Past battle pass is a little more thematic. And you can figure that out as you work your way through it. But you can expect to see that as well as another one coming in December with our next update with 11.12, which will also be a little more thematic. And we're excited to get into that, but that's for December. So.
yeah. I do like that we're getting into the winter vibes as well.
I agree. It makes me very happy. Although, of course, the two winter things there, like, we're just coming out of the spooky season, the Halloween season.
And they're still kind of spooky.
And they're still kind of scary. Like,
Yeah, we get the spooky Hercules already.
Yeah.
I
that
do
was
love
a really
this line
fun
of
voice
skins.
pack to
Yeah.
write, by the way.
the teeth on that one. But, yeah, the gingerbread, it's a gingerbread man, but he looks horrifying.
He's got a chomp out of his head.
He does, and a skull belt. So, he's fashion forward.
Maybe.
I do like
well, at least I hope he was
the
yummy.
shout out to the Ratatosker as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that one
It's
guy.
always a fun one from the the winter themed Ratatosker.
Yeah. So,
All right,
but
but,
we'll dive more into those in a minute. So I guess
All right.
we'll start talking balance,
Balance time.
starting
balance time.
with
balance
items.
time. Let's do some items.
Let's do some items.
So we went a little bit lighter on the items this time. We were trying to really pick out items that had a super low pick rate. And no item nerfs this time. So these are all buffs. First one we got though is Cannoneer's Cuirass. And so we've been going through the works with this item. I think is a justifiable way
Just
to
start
put
buying
that.
it, guys. It's good.
Yeah.
20 bonus gold now instead of 15. If you want to make your ADC fed, here is the item to do it. Give it a go. Give it a try.
It's just so good.
It's just worth
it. The prots are good. The HP's good. It's like one of the lowest cost tier 3 items in the game.
Yeah, it's tied, I think, with Wingblade. The stats are pretty solid. You get to make a minion go boom. So your clear is a little bit better too. So if you're on a low clear support and you're trying to just funnel money into your carry, like this item's really
It's
good
win,
for
win,
that.
win.
Like, yeah, it's a win.
Win, 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 win,
Win, win,
win.
win.
Just buy it. All right, next up.
Spear.
Spear
Up.
the Magus.
The Magus. We've been seeing a little bit of this item, not too much though. It's kind of been out of meta ever since the passive changed. Oh god, years ago at this point. I feel like it's been a hot minute.
It's been a while.
So just a little bit of help in this direction. Not too crazy in terms of what the passive does, but its power was relatively lower compared to its other compatriots, compared to its statistics. Considering it's a pet item and lifesteal item, just a little bit less worthwhile overall. So another little bit of magical power on that bad boy. I was about to say int. It's not it.
Right? I know. We're getting
my brain is too Smite build
in the
right.
Smite
It's my 2 build
mode.
right now.
And next up is Ikal.
Ikal. This is getting a 50 cost decrease, but we're also increasing the buff duration from 5 seconds to 6 seconds. Just going to make it a little bit easier to compete in that really early game slot, as well as give you that advantage for just a smidgen longer. It's going to feel real nice to be able to choose to get active in those early games a little bit faster. Maybe with your support going Cannoneers, you get to pick up this item pretty early and then, go for a little bit of a snowball action if you want to. But that's just a style of play. We're trying to promote lots of different ways to play and not always be stuck to stacking or crimson clawing or whatever it might be. If you want to get active, Ikal is a great option for you.
Yeah, and one of those, I love the strategy of if you're going to win, you might as well dominate.
Oh
So.
yeah.
All right, what's next?
Next up, Anile, Ansile,
Anchile.
Anchile.
One of those words. Yeah. So this was we missed a 0 there. That's on me. But yeah, it was 2,200 before, bringing it down another 50 and increasing the health on it. This is just to help out against those pesky magical soul laners that we've been seeing there quite a bit.
can't stand 'em.
Cthulhu and Cerberus are like 2 big ones to mention. Kumba is another big one that we've been seeing a lot over in that there soul lane. So hopefully giving a little bit more extra love to those who wish to defend against those guys.
Yeah, and what a great cost decrease too, from 220 to 2150.
There's supposed to be an extra 0 there.
I'll fix that. I'll fix that in a minute. It'll be good. But
That's on. I probably mistyped it in the patch notes.
we have been working through so many numbers and
Phew.
documents. It's crazy.
Yeah,
that
you
like
should see the amount of
1
numbers
0
I
is
got
the
going
type
through
of
my
thing.
brain at any
Right?
given time.
We literally just had a graph live on stream like 10 minutes ago. Like we are working through crazy stuff right now.
If my brain was one of those like receipt printers that you get at a cashier, the receipt would go out the door and around the corner.
It's gonna look like a CVS
I was
receipt
about
there
to
for a
say.
second.
Use that
It's got surveys on it.
Legitimately, I went to CVS the other day. I bought like one thing of like Benadryl, and my receipt was like a foot long. I'm like, I'm just buying a single item. I don't need this giant receipt. Save a tree, CVS.
Yes, well, numbers are the reason
just
that we're there.
repurpose it and climb a mountain with it.
So yeah, that's the end of our item section. We just had a couple of them there, and these were all buffs. So no nerfs to any of your favorite items, just some buffs to some underutilized ones. But now let's talk about some gods.
Let's do it.
We got some gods.
Robin first up.
Guys. We're starting off with a banger here, by the way.
All
With a
right.
banger. The third basic attack in Robin's hit chain now cleaves. It is now a
Ooh.
cleave. Helps you out with some solo clear, helps you out with some
The
jungle
clear.
clear. You love to see that. Now, additionally, as well, on Chain of Blows, that's your stacking up every time that you basic or ability or anything like that. You get physical power as well as movement speed and a shield. So the new thing is the physical power. That's a good time. Also, we're bringing down Mystic Rush, which is his ultimate, down from 110 to 90 to 90 at all ranks. So we're saying Robin solo is back. Robin Jungle is back.
Robin
Everybody
support, it's here.
playing some Robin. Let's go,
Play
baby.
wherever you want. He is back.
Some Robin support time. I'm about to jump back in Smite 1 with this. This is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All
Alright, what's
right, who we
next?
got next? Ooh, Nemesis. Wait, hold on. We just talked about Nemesis
I was
not
about to
too
say,
long
We
ago.
Sheldon
sure
popping
did.
off in the
We
Smite
sure
2
did.
seed as well.
So Nemesis got a couple really neato changes in Smite 2, and that was kind of a little bit of the inspiration of like, well, Nemesis is kind of like a little, standard in Smite 1. You know,
Yeah.
she's not going to be able to experience the magic that is scaling off 3 different stats, etc. However, what Nemesis can do is get her shield up a little bit more often, and now her ultimate has physical power scaling. So in Smite 2, you
Nice.
did get strength and scaling on the ultimate as well as that current health. So in Smite 1, you still get the current health damage, but now you also have physical power scaling, which means, ladies and gentlemen, you can kill with Nemesis ult. It does not automatically just do current health damage, which means that it can't kill. There is an ability to kill with this ultimate now, which is the biggest change here for Nemesis.
Just like whenever we did it with Geb. Now it's on Nemesis.
Now it's on Nemesis.
Dang, that's
Be
going to...
warned.
For Smite 1 players, that's going to take a lot of conditioning for them because it'd be like, oh, I can't kill them. It's a Nemesis ultimate. And all of a sudden someone's going to die and go, wait a sec.
Yeah.
That ain't right.
It is
that was my
only
ultimate.
20%, which is, pretty low. Keep in mind, this is a big buff for Nemesis, a big nerf for the enemy hit by it, and it's also, gives you protections, current health damage, all that stuff. So it has a small amount because it's really only there to say if they were like at 100 HP or something low, you want to finish him off. You're not trying to let him go at 2 HP.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good though. Excited.
Get
for
out and
that.
play some Nemesis in Smite 1 and then eventually Smite 2. Is that Erlong Shen.
Long Shen.
Long Shen.
All right, my friends, we've got 72 transformations. Make damage is going up, cooldown is going down, which means that you're going to be able to use it more often, and Make's going to hurt a little bit more. And then 9 turns blessing, big old taunt, big old heal. Getting that every 70 seconds at base.
15 seconds is a lot to be knocked off.
Oh, absolutely. But this ability, it's a little bit of a weaker ultimate. It is a big taunt. It's a good heal. It's a delayed heal, though, which
Yeah.
a lot of times you get into a position where, like, you kind of just want to use it for the heal, or you kind of want to use it kind of a little bit more willy-nilly. This will give you a lot of options to do that, especially because Erlang is not a character that really builds a lot of cooldown. So you get that up a lot more often, be able to use it to combo, etc., etc.
Yeah, one of those where you feel less concerned about holding it because, might as well. 70 seconds. It'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to say, out of curiosity, how much does this cover if I toggle the cameras on? Okay, so it does cover a little bit, so I will
bit.
keep the cameras away.
We're
I'm
just
so
ghosts
sorry.
right now
You
talking
don't get to
over
see.
patch
We were
notes.
just
That's true.
ethereal voices in your head. You saw nothing.
Ooh.
Next is Shiva.
Shiva's a very interesting character because he actually does have a relatively high win rate, but his popularity not very
low.
good. Not very good popularity wise. So we're trying to mostly touch the parts of Shiva's kit where people perceive that he is not very good or the things that make him bad. And a lot of that does have to come with Pillar of Dawn being on 18 seconds. Oh, it's a long cooldown.
That is really
And
long.
then Shiva Tandava as well. It's just a really long channeled ability that people feel like they kind of want a little bit more what's the word, like direct control in terms of like, I want to be able to do something now, let me do the thing now. And so
Yeah.
you still do have to get through that dance. It's very important, especially like culturally, that you get through all these steps. It's a really, really awesome part of Shiva's like lore tie-ins to his abilities, but they're going to be doing more things now, a little bit more damage, a little bit more healing as well. So support Shiva. Anybody that do support Shiva?
God, I want to say it was Wrongyu was one of the only ones who was trying to run the Shiva support back in the Smite 1 Pro era. Other than that, we saw a ton of Shiva Jungle on his release. Shiva Solo was maybe a little bit
Solo popped
more
off
so
a little
after
bit.
that one. And then I want to say it was just Wrongyu. There might have been like Mike, because Mike always does some weird stuff, but I feel like Wrongyu is the only one who was trying to consistently run at support whenever he did.
Man, every time we talk about Shiva, I can just remember the update show talking about like his release. I'm like, man, that was like what, yesterday? Like 2 days ago?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
No,
time
I'm
flies.
sweating.
Yeah, time is a construct. Who's next?
Next up is Iset.
Ooh, Iset.
Iset, welcome in. Well, Iset's supposed to be kind of this early game monster, right? But
Yeah.
here's the thing. She hasn't done that for a long time. So we're giving her a little bit of extra health to make sure that she's able to feel kind of more okay in that early game fight, so she doesn't just get run at. She has a little bit of extra survivability, right? But just
Little bit
a
extra.
pinch, just
Yeah.
a pinch, right? So it's an extra 15 at level 1 and then 4 per level. So it adds up over time, right? But it's not too crazy. And then we're also giving her a bit of increased damage on Wing Gust. Remember, this hits 4 times.
Oh, yeah.
So multiply the increase by 4. She'll get an extra 40 damage every rank
crazy.
if she's hitting everything. So that's quite a lot. And then we're also decreasing the mana cost of Spirit Ball to let her shoot it out a little bit more often.
Always a fun ability to use too, like trying to time it just right, see how many people
Oh
you
yeah,
can get with it.
I love that ability.
Fade away
Agreed.
Spirit Ball just for the
Fade
kill.
away
Through the
spirit
wall.
ball. Right.
Oh, it's so good.
So BM.
Such a fun character. It's been around as a part of like Smite 1's history for such a long time too. So seeing I remember when we initially made the change to increase the speed of Wing Gust, everybody went absolutely crazy with it. So it's
Yeah.
just a fun character to play.
Overall,
Absolutely.
completely agree. So who's blower on the list?
Ooh.
You
Huang.
You know a little something about you,
I
Huang
sure
Lermy,
do. I sure do. Yeah,
That's
this
true.
god is very unpopular, unfortunately.
which is so tragic.
that what
It
you
is really
do? Oh,
tragic,
no.
but I am biased, so you can take J-Mac's word more than mine. But yeah, so we're taking Master of the Down. We're increasing the chain basic attack damage from 75% to 100%. So he
Ooh.
technically now, he can hit 2 minions or 2 targets in general for that full damage rather than, reducing it on the after the second target. Yeah, I had to remember the word for that. But also, Flames of the Phoenix going to be doing a little bit more consistent poke, kind of across the board, but a lot more towards the late game in terms of base damage. And we're
Nice.
also bringing down the cooldown of Celestial Flight, so you get it at 18 seconds always versus 20 down to 18. And so essentially this just means overall he's keeping the amount of safety that he would get in the late game and the early game. Hopefully it makes him able to be a little bit more aggressive too. I love going in and getting that
True.
knock up and then going straight into some dragons. It's a great time. And also we did, I don't remember what patch it was, but this year at least, we definitely touched up the ultimate in terms of the clunkiness and the feels and all that stuff. So if you haven't given him a try recently, give him another go. I do firmly believe that he feels significantly better than when he was released for a variety of reasons, but ult feels better, passive feels better, and now he's going to be a little bit safer.
And always a fun ult to use too. What a playmaker.
Absolutely.
Just a
Crazy
fun,
ult.
just a fun god, for his utility,
no,
but also for
guys,
his burst of
guys.
damage and whatnot. No, I'll say I liked watching it. I
Yeah.
know that Benny Q played him a lot in mid in the pro scene. That was like one of
Yeah.
his like default go-tos between it and
Bang on as
between him and
well.
Merlin.
Oh, yeah.
So like those
Yeah.
are kind of the two go-tos there. And I saw a question in chat. Somebody's asking about drops. For Smite 2, drops are still going. For Smite 1, there's also viewer point drops going on. I know for Smite 2, the big thing is that people are trying to get their access code for that one. So
Of course.
yes, Smite 2 drops are still going. You just need to make sure you're on the appropriate Smite 2 stream. Since if it says Smite 2 at the bottom of it, you're earning drops. As
Yeah,
long
you're
as
good
you
to go.
don't have the video player itself muted. Got to make sure that there's volume going on that way. You can
Yeah.
technically mute the tab. You have a couple of different tabs open, but you just got to make sure you're on Smite 2.
Leave it at 1% volume, so we're just like the little ghost whispering in your ear.
The number of
We're buffing you.
the number of streams
Yeah.
that I have open sometimes that are just at the 1%, and I just tab between like whichever one I want to pay the most attention to. I'll bump the volume back up, but then I'll
Yeah.
just hear like 2 or 3 other streams where
That's
it's like 1%.
too much. I don't think my brain would make it.
All right,
All
so
right,
let's
next
keep going.
up, Jing. Well, okay,
Jing
I
Wei.
saw
Jing
someone
Wei.
named
Literally
Jing Wei in
Jing
chat who
Wei
was saying,
in
"I
chat.
hope they buff me."
Jing
Well, here
Wei
you
buff.
go.
I literally saw the
There you
same
go.
thing. So Jing
Jing
Wei, if
Wei
you're
buff.
still in chat, here we go. All right, so what's happening in Jing Wei land?
So, we may be in a little bit of a situation where Jing Wei in Smite 2 is incredibly strong. She had a lot of
Situation.
amazing changes to her that made her feel so good, so much more flexible, so much more exciting. However, Miss Jing Wei in Smite 1, we're not leaving you behind. We're giving her some buffs on the cooldown of explosive bolts to 10 seconds at rank 1. Gives her a bit of that earlier clear, which is going to be real nice, as well as agility going down in cooldown. If you do want to rank that up, that is going to give you that dash a little bit sooner. And then airstrike also gaining more scaling because you can do it twice in Smite 2. You can't do it twice in Smite 1, but you can hit really hard if you are going to be committing to going in with airstrike. So please, if you do decide to go in, know that you'll be a little bit more rewarded now for doing so.
True.
And they're back in chat. Jingwei22 is there.
Yep,
It
it
has
happened.
happened. Jingwei buff.
It happened.
I'm still
They
mulling
manifested.
over elegant Excaliburs. Jing's buffs are on the way.
That's
Sure
good.
are.
And also, Vaffy, to answer your question regarding assault healers, I don't think there's been any internal
We
discussion
haven't
about
changed
adjusting
them.
that.
No.
So at the moment, will still not be classified as a healer, if I'm not mistaken. He's not classified as one currently. Don't know if there's plans to add it even with the heal buff in there.
Yeah,
but
at this point, we're mostly looking to see if this changes the stats at all, and then we'll adjust from there. But we didn't want to preemptively change it, considering I don't know if this is going to move the needle much on what people perceive Shiva to be in terms of that healing. So we'll have to look and see. We'll keep an eye out.
You
And,
know how we love to look at the stats.
Zoroark also unlikely that we'll be able to make the explosive bolt change in Smite 1. That will require a lot of extra.
Yeah.
A lot of extra.
Here's the thing. I can make blueprints. I don't know how to code in C++. It may seem like a very similar skill, but if you know, you know. And let me tell you, I know. So as much as I would love to bring a lot of these really awesome features, there are some that are a lot easier than others. Like Nemesis, for instance, was just adding damage scaling. Super easy for someone like me to do. However, adding charges of bolts gets a little bit above my knowledge base.
Whole new ammo system and everything like that.
Yeah.
Going it based off of
promise.
being able to dash and things like that.
But here's the thing, though. While we might not be able to do things like that in Smite 1, let it be known that we're using this time to make even cooler things in Smite 2. So we're hopefully giving you a lot of balance that you could be excited about and bring in more cool things in terms of new gods, new features, new modes in the long-term future. But yeah, all that stuff coming in Smite 2. Not too much crazy stuff happening in Smite 1, but we are still keeping it going. We're keeping it rolling, giving you guys some new balance, and hopefully, this will feel really good for Jing.
Keeping the meta fresh and keeping new items or items from rotating from being too stale, you know. So.
And hopefully give you a little something to look forward to whenever you jump over into Smite 2 eventually.
Yeah.
True.
So you say, hey man, this character's really fun in Smite 1. Jumping over, whoa, this character's still really
Even
fun and
more
maybe
fun.
even a little more fun now in Smite 2.
Yeah.
All right, well, we talked a lot about
keep rolling.
Jingwei. Let's move on to Chiron, the master
Chiron.
teacher.
The horse boy.
Yes, he is getting some more healing as well, but this is per level, so not starting off too crazy, but we'll add up over time.
Yeah.
Increased physical protection reduction on Masterful Shot. That's going to feel real nice.
Get that shred.
When you, pop it onto them with your 1 or your basic attack or your ultimate or any of those things that apply Masterful Shot, and then you, the classic. I wasn't there for these playtests, but I do hear back from days of yonder where Chiron was first getting initially playtesting, and they would go in the playtest booth, the person playing Chiron launches their 2, Masterful Shot. Masterful shot. So masterful. So masterful. And then, of course, getting a little bit of increased scaling onto Centaurus. Everyone loves the snipe ability, set swing.
So much fun.
It's so much fun. We're trying to make that one a little bit more impactful so that those who are good at aiming are getting rewarded for being good at aiming.
So not me, but like a lot of other people probably.
I mean, you could just work on it.
I like hitting Masterful Shot and yelling skill shot as soon as I fire it. Just like, man, that was the hardest ability I had to hit in the game. Almost as difficult as New Wall Ultimate.
True. New Wall ult is hard. I keep missing that.
To be fair, Chiron's is harder because you have to actually hit somebody else first before you can then hit him again with another thing. New Wall, you just press 4.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who is next up on our list? None other than Aries.
Aries.
The god of war.
Aries was seeing a lot of varying information across its ranks because people generally think he's this crazy god in Arena. But actually, considering that he's non-conquest nerfs, he's pretty not that good.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's just okay, especially because there's just a lot of, various ways to get out of his ultimate, and that is his general, what's the word they're looking for? Wombo combo enabler. But yeah, so anyway, Aries in Conquest, not doing too hot. He's really good in the hands of people that are really good. But here's the thing, is if you have to play a god that takes Einstein levels of genius to play every single game, that's going to get really tiring and really old really fast.
True.
It is really fun to be good at characters. However, we don't want it to be mentally tiring or take so much more extra effort than just playing someone like a little bit more simple, like an Athena or a Ymir. Those guys are nice and simple.
Yeah.
Aries, however, needs a lot more to get rolling. So what we're doing here is we're going to be increasing the magical power gain from Blessed Presence from 30 to 40. So this is building aura items, means more magical power. So that's going to feel really good for everybody. If you're building those aura items. If you know the very basic thing that you should be doing on Aries, which is build aura items.
Build aura.
You're chilling.
Win.
And then additionally, we're getting more magical power scaling per tick on Searing Flesh, so better clear. Hopefully it's going to feel really nice, especially when you start getting those aura items online. I mean, he's going to be hurting a lot more, so that's going to be feeling really nice. We tried to stick with the less skill-intensive ability and feel in general to make sure we're kind of hitting everybody with these things.
Yeah.
And again, you know, we're keeping an eye on him to make sure that the difference between his really, really good players and his really, what's a nice way of putting it, his not so good players, are closer than before, because that's our goal.
See, I respect that. You see, cameras aren't on, but there were hand motions with that, and the really good players were on the Lermy side of the table, and the really mediocre players
that's
were on the
just
dandy
where
side.
my hands ended
No,
up.
but it was accurate. I was about to say the Lermies and the dandies of the world.
I wasn't pointing at anyone in particular.
Oh no, I know. I'm the one that brought it up. I'm there for it. I'm telling you that was accurate. So unintentionally, you nailed it. So, but yeah,
Hey,
you just
well-
gotta hit the 3 chains, start the fire, use those extra prots, and be the best little control, trap, burn, fire guy you can be. So.
Sure can.
All right, so who comes after it?
Next one, oh god, that was mentioned earlier for
Cabraka.
Smite 2 eventually,
Yeah.
but now we're gonna talk about Smite 1.
And Smite 1, he's getting some extra physical protections.
Beefy boy.
So that's going to feel really nice. And extra basic attack damage. So our jungle Cabrakins, our solo Cabrakins, y'all are
Feasting.
going to be feeling
Feasting.
real happy about that. We're also increasing the damage of Tremors, which is going to feel very nice, especially for those building a little bit of scaling, because that's every tick you get an extra 5% magical power scaling, which
Nice.
never a bad thing. Always feels pretty good to be able to smack the ground and get some damage off and have people spin in circles because they're like, dang, I can't get out of these tremors.
Nerd Rage Cabrakan fans.
Operation Ground and Pound is a go.
True. All right, so Cabrakan is grounding and pounding. What's going on next?
Next is nerfs.
We're
Oh,
in
that's the word that
nerf
people don't like to
section.
see, or maybe the word that
But
people love
hopefully,
seeing.
hopefully
Yeah.
we're all chill with all of the really cool, fun characters that are getting some buffs here.
You're saying I shouldn't
And now-
panic?
Don't panic.
No.
Okay, no panic.
We're
No
in
panic.
panicless
No
zone.
panic.
No
Panic
panic
free
because
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
Listen, guys, we gave her a new feature relatively recently within like the past 2 patches.
True.
And it turns out that that feature made her really good. Like
got
really,
strong.
really good. Yeah, her win rate essentially skyrocketed. We did kind of expect it to go up, of course, considering it was a new feature. However, it was a little bit unfair. Just a little bit for those Afro gamers, especially our goated Afro players that play a lot of them that got used to this change really quickly. It was very, very good for those guys. So we're just bringing it down a little bit, giving Afro in the early game a little bit less access to back off, which is that extra bit of damage, you know, especially if you're playing with a really, really good soulmate.
Yeah.
That does help as well. And then Undying Love, now instead of completely resetting Lovebirds, will reset Lovebirds to half of its original cooldown. So if you, oh god, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'm just going to say it's 16 seconds. If it's 16 seconds and you ult, it'll go down to 8 seconds. If you are at 12 seconds, it'll go down to 8 seconds. So just keep that in mind that it will reset to its original cooldown. I believe this also functions, you know, if you're getting cooldown reduction, but if you're doing it partway through and you have no cooldown reduction, then just keep that in mind that it will only reset to up to half of the original cooldown. So with cooldown, if it's 14, it'll only reset to 7, etc., etc., etc.
Got it.
Yep. So if you build a lot of cooldown, you're still gonna get some good value from it, but you're not gonna get as much value as you used to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Next up on the nerf hammer is we did this at the same time. That's just
Listen,
so
it
rude.
wasn't intentional.
That's just so
It was
rude
not
to
intentional
them.
to turn out this way.
Dang.
But the thing is, with these two, you know, you always see them together.
Yeah.
Susana did get a pretty significant win rate boost. It was actually a lot slower over time than Aphrodite's. Aphrodite, we saw like a literal like mountain peak where it went from like 0 to 100 really quickly. That's not actually what it was, but you know, you get the point. Whereas Susana was more like a nice steady hill over time. He was going up.
Nice little staircase.
Yeah, a nice little bit over time. And he just ended up getting really, really crazy big damage off. This is more so focused for Conquest as well. He wasn't super insane in arenas because, you know, you can see a lot of different pairings with Afro. So, you know,
Yeah.
Susano is not really one of those characters that goes crazy in arenas. He can, for sure, definitely can. But this is more so to reflect a lot of his Conquest strengths as well. So he's getting some base damage reduction and physical power scaling between Wind, Siphon, and Jetstream. Just a little bit. You know, we understand that there is an amount of correlation between
An amount.
It's hard to quantify exactly how much, but yeah, again,
But it is quantifiable.
Afro was definitely a menace in non-conquest more so than in conquest, and Susana was a menace more in conquest than non-conquest. So it's definitely a bit like that.
Just the two of us mains in shambles now.
Yeah, I was saying e-couples everywhere, just starving.
All right, we'll move from the E-couples to Medusa. Oh, what are you doing to Medusa?
Medusa is still a very, very popular ban over in Ranked. I know Ranked has had a lot of folks move over to Smite 2 Ranked, but at the same time, you know, the Ranked population in Smite 1 is still there. It's still thriving. And golly, she was good a couple patches ago, right? We nerfed her, and we nerfed her again. And then I think we nerfed her again, and now we're nerfing her again. Simply because her ban rate has not gone down, even though her win rate has gone down, you know, a solid amount. She just seems to be the best option out of a lot of the current ADCs that we have. So keeping that in mind, she's just getting a bit of a clear nerf, and then of course bumping up Petrified to 110 seconds because that ultimate is crazy in the right hands against the right people.
You get that timing just right, and that's team wipe potential.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
All right. Well, after Medusa, we move to Sun Wukong.
Sun Wukong, just a very, very standard solo lane pick. He has been seeing a high surge of popularity. He's just another really good pressure character as well. So what we're doing here is we're not touching his damage at all. We're touching his crowd control directly at his slow and his attack speed slow on Master as well. So it's not a crazy buff, but it does mean that he has a little bit less control over his opponents. You can still really outperform people in lane if you are focusing on the damage aspect of it and not so much on I just get to slow you for a lot and then you can't fight back. It's especially good when he's not completely countering matchups like Bellona or Ama or any of the other basic attack warriors like Vimana, things like that. We want to make sure that he doesn't completely eliminate those guys when he's against them. But again, his damage is still very strong, which is one of his main points of why you pick him, because you want good clear.
Yeah, true. To answer Jingwei's question on where we get the stats for Smite 1s for like ban rate, internally,
AKA
yes. Max the data man.
Yeah, we asked Max.
The data guy. We also just look across all of the social medias as well, because sometimes our data doesn't align with perception. So we check out streams, we check out Reddit, we check out Twitter, we check out Discord, things like that, and looking at all of the different feedback for the game and then comparing it to the stats, see how the stats kind of align. Do the stats agree, do they not agree, and then trying to find a good midpoint between the two of what people are going to expect to be buffed nerfed and what we actually should buff and nerf.
Yeah, it's crazy how much those are two separate pools, because the data can say one thing, but if we go online across all the platforms and we hear y'all saying, doesn't matter what the data says, we don't like Susana or, you know, whatever, like we're like, well, data's one thing, we'd rather people have fun and be happy, so we're going to go with what the people want instead of what the numbers are saying directly. So it's very cool having the two different
it's a little bit both, and that's the fun part of the job, is deciding you know which thing is the better thing to go with, and they're both equally good, which is why it's very hard. That's my bad.
Somebody's
hey, it happens.
Listen, we're doing some balance in Smite 2 as well. And I've been getting a lot of notifications about balance. Keep it up, guys. Keep sending me your balance feedback.
We've been
I want
going
that.
crazy. Like that feedback you send us, Discord, Twitter, surveys, everything. Like, keep it up, y'all.
Yeah, and I remember there was one point where we were talking about, you know, kind of keeping on the conversation of like perception versus statistics, where it was Merlin buffs that came up a few patches back.
Oh my god!
Whereas
yeah.
we buff Merlin, everybody's going, "What do you mean you're buffing Merlin? This god is like crazy. Like everybody's doing fine." And you look, and his win rate was like
Merlin
he was like
42,
43% win rate across everything. It was like, this guy is not doing good. Perception of him, it may be fine, but statistically, he was just not performing. So that was one case where it was
compared to
like
where Merlin normally is, right? Because
Merlin
is typically at the lower end of things, but he's not really that low.
Yeah, he's
but that's just an example.
Yeah, he's usually like that, like 46 or so kind of percent area where it's like he's not doing a ton of winning, but that's because he's like higher skills. So when you drop that low, we were like, okay, damage isn't the problem, and it was like cooldowns. I think is what was mostly adjusted there. So.
Yeah.
But okay, moving away from Sun Wukong, we go to Cerberus.
This is a kind of small, kind of not small nerf. Cerberus has been dominating over in the solo lane. We had some Cthulhu nerfs over in the bonus balance, so that Cerberus is kind of like the next up when it comes to those crazy magical guardian solo laners. They were using Curse Weaver. We nerfed Curse Weaver, we nerfed Cthulhu. We're nerfing Cerberus. Not a crazy nerf, but a little bit less safety, a little bit less reset on Cerberus with the new feature that we added to Soul Expulsion. So across the board, hopefully we'll slow him down just a little bit in terms of being able to get away and also heal and all of that good stuff over in solo. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, is that the end of our balance?
My goodness.
Shit.
Voice actors down there, though. Always shout out to the cool voice actors.
Oh my god. Is that Joe Zija and Blythe Malin and George? I'm going to say this wrong. Ledoux?
Ledoux?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank y'all for your incredible work. I love that we started adding those for like that was an eternity ago.
Oh yeah,
like being able to shout out all the cool people we work with is very fulfilling.
They're cool people.
Now I'm gonna try and hit the correct button and bring us back here while I attempt to bring us in game. We're gonna see
I believe.
if we can get in
we're
and get
gonna.
to a nice little jungle practice real quick, because we gotta show off the skins a
We
little
Oh,
do.
bit.
snap,
You know,
we in
Pretty
there.
cool skins.
we are there.
We
I'm
in
gonna
there.
wait just because I want to make sure we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
the
yeah.
get everything correctly first. So the first one was
True.
it was one of the Thor skins that we had.
It is. Thor is a freaky snowman. It's Frosted
name?
Fury Thor.
Frosted Fury.
Frosted Fury. Now I gotta find the skin.
could have also been a donut skin.
here. Oh my lord, did I
You
miss
might have
it?
to switch class. It's very possible.
Very likely. You know what? We're just gonna.
Just
You have
pick
to
something.
flex those
No, we're just gonna
commands.
we're
We'll
just
just
gonna
switch.
jump in. You'll have to read the name to me again when we're in there so I can do it properly. And you know what?
Yep,
We'll
yep,
go
yep.
ahead and jump in here for the moment. Oh, they're unable. It's a
Oh,
small.
gosh.
It's a tiny
Whoa.
It's a
screen.
tiny
It's a
screen.
tiny
Uh-oh.
screen.
Uh-oh.
Hey, guys.
Hey. We'll
What's
fill up
up?
the rest of the screen for you guys.
Yeah. Look up there.
There you go. Yeah, look above me right
this
there.
way.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at the.
that way.
I am
Yeah,
so
right
for how many
there.
times like I've been on camera thanks to this job. I am still so horribly bad at
At the
being like,
direction.
yeah, it's
well,
over.
sometimes it's mirrored and sometimes
Switch
it's not.
class.
You know.
I always guess wrong.
Thor.
Thor.
What was the skin
was
name?
it Frosted
Fury.
Fury? Frosted Fury.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
you may.
Is it Frosted Fury then Thor?
No.
Switch class.
It's very possible that PTS is not updated.
Well, this should be the dev.
Oh, you weren't on Dev. You were on PTS.
Was I on PTS?
You're on PTS.
Hold on, we're
We
gonna
installed
we're gonna.
PTS for sure.
Are you,
Listen, guys. How's your Friday going, everyone? You guys have any
True.
Smite
Are
1
you promised?
questions?
It's Flat Friend Friday.
It is Flat Friend Friday.
No, I'm definitely on dev.
You're on Dev?
Yeah, I'm on dev.
Huh.
Huh.
Well,
This is awkward.
do you
Dude,
have
game
the
design is
beta, the correct beta tag on? Because it's possible you're on a super old build.
Oh, that could
You
be
goofy
the issue.
super old
That
beta
could
Well,
be.
we might not be able to show
All right.
it.
Well, unfortunately, we may not be able to show off skins, so
That's fine. We'll
we're just gonna pop
let's-
back
yeah,
here
let's
and
look
kind
at
of
it.
We'll
hang out
social
for a
post
little bit.
about it. So cool, yeah. So, I mean, I guess with that being said, like I said, there are 3 different skins you can look for. So we have Frosted Fury Thor, which is
Yeah.
part of the Yule
Wait,
Fest event.
bring the art back up.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
will.
We can go to smitegame.com/news/ a whole bunch of words. Bites from the
Yeah.
past, update
Scroll.
notes.
Well, I missed the bar. Scroll back up,
Scroll up.
Yeah.
and then we can hit
Bring it to you, the people.
Hit it
Bring
right.
it back. Bring it back.
Oh, right here. There we go.
There we go.
And you can
Alright.
see it in all of its beauty.
Yeah, so Frosted Fury Thor is part of the Yule Fest event. We are hitting the Yule Fest time of the
hey, we
year.
can bring it up.
Oh, nice. Hit a little Control Plus or
There we
Control
go.
Skull or whatever. But so we have a a horrifying snowman for Thor. And again, part of the Yule Fest event. So it's a holiday time of the year. We're bringing Yule Fest back, so you can hop in and get this. Of course, cross-gen skin for your Thoring pleasure, I guess. So a super cool skin, if not just a little horrifying, because as snowmen go, he looks kind of upset. So.
He looks a little upsetty right now.
He's
Yeah,
melting.
It looks like somebody like shot him in the chest there.
Or like
It's like,
hit him with
it's
a
like
He's in a
a
snowball
wound.
fight.
Yeah, it's a snowball
Bro
fight.
brought a hammer
Who-
to a
who-
snowball fight? What the
Who
heck?
threw something
Well,
at him?
how freaky is it?
Yeah.
I've seen I've seen the full card art. I think it's actually just a bunch of whimsical children. Like he's in a snowball fight, which is what
Just-
makes this.
Just a bunch of kids bullying
whimsical
Thor.
Children.
Yeah.
Why does that sound almost like just lore accurate to Thor though? Just a bunch of kids just bullying Thor, throwing snowballs
Fair.
at him.
I mean, maybe he's that upset though, because like as a snowman, like he just had snow thrown at him. What are the mental implications of that? You know? Yeah. So like.
That's something to think on here.
Yeah, think over that. The horror of that as we talk about somebody else who's made of something that isn't human. Ginger Snap Baron Sandi.
Cool.
Ooh.
Look at my
him.
boy. Again, I love
He's
how
so crunchy.
I
feel
can't tell
like-
if he's happy or mad, just because the way like the eyebrows like
He's
convey
like-
that he's like a little like
he's like-
angry.
Maniacally
Like a little
laughing.
sinister.
Yeah, I think sinister is a good word. So yeah, and I love too how, like I said, we just came out of like the Halloween season.
So it's cool that it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, like this is like a transitionary because like it's the you have the
Guys,
holiday season. Christmas.
It's already Christmas. It was November 1st a couple days ago.
Yeah.
It's we're nearly
That was a
there.
Mariah
It was a full
Carey's
week
taking
ago
over.
now.
Yeah, Mariah Carey's
Oh,
on the
no.
on the
That's
radio.
crazy.
How many hours into November did it take you to get hit by the Mariah Carey? That's the real question.
I haven't been hit yet. I've been blessed.
Oh, just wait. I'll open up TikTok later.
Oh
I'm
no.
getting commercials on YouTube about buying gifts for my family already. So
Well, okay, Black Friday's coming up. You know, all that good
Black
stuff.
Friday is not about Santa hats usually though. They were like,
No.
come on down to Kohl's, and I'm like, stop. Don't.
It's part of the spirit.
So anyway, yeah, as Lermy aptly put it, we have Baron's crunchy looking new skin here. So Super excited. Again, this is actually part of the Immortal Honor. So as y'all know, Immortal Honor's been dropping 2 cross-gen skins every single update since we started this year, what feels like a billion years ago, but was in fact 11 months ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, it hurts to say either way. But so if you own Immortal Honor already, you're going to get the 2 skins, this one and the next one we're about to talk to. If you don't, think about picking it up, because these are all skins that will be making their way into Smite 2 sooner than later. And if you own them already, boom, you'll have them already.
They'll be there.
This guy's already in Smite 2, so like as soon as it's there,
Yeah.
like as the cross.
Wait, they're all there, right? Except Thor's coming soon.
Thor's coming soon.
Yeah, Thor's on the way. We talked about
Baron's
that.
already there, and our third one,
Hercules.
He's already there.
He's there. God, I love these crimson skins so
love them
much.
Right?
I love when they let me write the edgy voice packs too, because then I can like, especially for these, when they have like this kind of like blood theme, because then you can say like really crazy stuff like "I'll consume your flesh and drink your blood" and crazy stuff like that. He just like really gets into the character, and those like really intense characters are so fun to write because it's just like, you would never say this normally,
Yeah, you just
but
get to
now you
send
get
it.
to be like the evilest character ever and write for that kind of thing. And it's very funny writing voice packs like that, because like, especially for guy characters for me when I write them, because I always read my voice packs out loud just to like make sure they sound,
yeah,
they make sense.
They make sense out loud.
So I'm sitting there like, "I'll crush your skull."
I will add your blood to my blood collection.
Blood for the blood god.
Do you ever have intrusive thoughts while you're writing? You're like, I really want to add this, but it just doesn't make any sense. But it's so
Yeah,
funny in my head.
there have been like puns and things like that I want to put in on like these like
Puns, I respect
not
you.
funny skins at all. Like this is a very like serious like edgelord skin.
You don't get to be punderful.
And I'm like, why? Writing the jokes on these skins are really funny, because you either take the like, this is not a joke approach, like the kind of tier thing,
Yeah.
or you go in the direction of like, they're just not funny. They just make a joke, but it doesn't land.
doesn't
and that ends
land.
up being funny because it just makes no sense.
Because you're standing alone in solo lane, like, what type of blood? And it's just nothing.
Sometimes
Bro,
the anti-humor
what is
is
bro
the best
talking
humor.
about?
Yeah. Somebody check on bro, please.
Thinking about it, like, how many of these ones do we have in Smite 1? I know we have the Morgan Le
lot.
Fay.
There's
Morgan Le Fay.
and the
Fenrir,
Fenrir.
King
Those
Arthur.
Oh,
King
King
Arthur
Arthur's
has
got
one.
one too. That's the one I forgot
There's
about.
probably one more.
Yeah,
that I'm
Herc
trying
is
to
on the
remember.
way.
Because I use I
Yeah.
get for
Everybody
Morgan Le
knows
Fay, I go
in
between
chat.
that one and the Cinderfall.
Yeah.
Because I like using both of those. But like, yeah, it's
Cinderfall's
mostly
cool.
on like the more like evil-esque kind of characters, except for, you know, if King Arthur's got his. Aside from that, now Hercules, I wouldn't consider Hercules, you know, an evil kind of
No.
character, but
No.
like
Champion.
Fenrir, you know, the
It's a-
bringer of
it's a very
Ragnarok,
big
Morgan Le
switch up
Fay,
for
huge
Hercules.
antagonist.
Yeah.
Like,
The hero going to be this crazy
The blood
demonic
and bone
blood
menace.
guy.
Yeah. Demonic blood guy. Does he have business cards that say that? Hi,
It's
Hercules.
just demonic
Hercules,
blood
yeah.
guy.
Well, cool, but yeah, those are the 3 skins we've gone over the balance, so I'm excited for it. Again, this is going live next Thursday, so a lot of cool stuff to look forward to next week. And yeah, beyond that, I mean, does anybody have any questions? We have a couple minutes here at the end.
Yeah, might as well. I will also say, for those wondering about CA6 balance, there will be CA6 balance for Smite 2.
Ooh.
We're just not ready to share that yet, but don't worry, my balancing friends, we got more of it coming.
My balancing friends. I
Yeah,
think those are
up
called
there.
gymnasts usually.
You want to open up for maybe small Q&A for this in
why
here?
not? We got
Yeah,
a
we
couple
got a
minutes.
couple
If
minutes.
you've got some Smite 1 related questions, we'll answer to those. If a Smite 2 one pops in and we have them on, we can try to address that as well.
If we
but-
know I mean, we talked a lot of Smite 2 was spoken earlier, but
Yeah.
if it's something we can answer, you know.
Is the Smite 2 update also Thursday? It should. I believe we're aiming for Tuesday, if
Ooh,
that
there's-
is
A little
the
early.
correct assumption.
Yeah, there's tentatively early next week, but we're you know, we still got to lock in some things. So
Yep. So just keep an eye on socials. So go to twitter.com/SmiteGame. We'll have all the info whenever they do eventually drop down.
I see Awoken Daji. Are we getting more cross-gen passes in the near future? I know, as we have said since the top of the year, Immortal Honor will continue to have 2 cross-gen skins for this update, and then what will be, you know, roughly the last update of the year in December, the 12th update. That one will also have another one of the battle passes, not a cross-gen pass. It'll have another version of like the Blast from the Past style event where it lets you get content from kind of the history of Smite throughout Smite's game. No definite news on what next year's Battle Pass stuff is going to look like that we're ready to share yet, but once we have some stuff a little more cemented, we'll let y'all know for sure.
Yep. And I believe in general right now, there might be a couple skins that show up in Smite 2 that are cross-gen skins in terms of like, I bought it in Smite 1 and it gets transferred to Smite 2, but there's not like a consistent timeline for those. And in general, you know, just working with the new pipeline that we have, you know, there may be some that show up and are playable, but it just depends on a lot of different factors in terms of like when they will be playable in Smite 2.
I mean, it's kind of like what was just mentioned in Titan Talks a little while ago. Like, we knew the game needed more gods, so we shifted to making more gods, and
we did shift.
Yeah, I mean, like the pipeline completely reinvented itself to get those gods where they needed to be, which I think has been great. I think it was the right choice. I think you and the community were right. It's added a lot of variety to the game, but like Lermy said, that means that we'll be a little slower in the immediate future for things like getting those cross-gen skins live for characters that are already live in Smite 1 or Smite 2. So like Baron's gingerbread skin, there's a chance, depending on how the pipeline works, that it comes out pretty soon, like after the update. But it could also just be a little while because again, we're really pouring our focus into making sure we get those gods online and keep changing up the game in valuable ways that y'all are providing feedback for. So
it's different from skin to skin and god to god. So
yeah,
everything you just have to roll with them as they come along.
And just for like some help on it as well, some people pop in and they say, hey, I have this skin in Smite 1, but it didn't pop over for Smite 2. Sometimes you have to jump back into Smite 1, get a quick login, and then log back over into Smite 2, and you should get unlocked then. If it's still not unlocked by that point, then you want to submit a support ticket, because then they can look into it and make sure everything is unlocking properly.
I like to always say, if it's an issue with your account specifically, it goes to the support team. If it's an issue
with everybody,
with the game, or that it would affect everybody, then it goes to the bug forum.
Yep.
So those are your two different avenues: support ticket for personal, and then for game-wide issues, bug forum.
Yeah. If you jump on the subreddit and you see somebody made a thread and 15 other people in the thread are going, yeah, I also don't have this, that's probably when it goes into being an actual full bug report. Sir Darl's Chickens, what a great name, said, are all Smite 1 skins released from here forward going to be cross-gen? I believe every skin as of season 11, the start of this year, has been cross-gen.
Pretty
if I'm not
much.
mistaken.
There may have been very
a couple
limited instances of not, but like as you can see with the card art there, well, we had it up on screen a second ago, but
right there.
Yeah, the S2, as long as they have that S2 logo, you're guaranteed to get that in Smite 2 at some point or another. So it's we wanted a very clear way to indicate 90. I'm gonna even go as far as say 95% of the skins, if not 99, are going to be cross-gen moving forward. But because that's what we've set up our pipeline for now. Like we figured out how to make it so when we make for one, it'll work for both, and why would we not do that?
Yeah, you get the ultimate bang for your buck because you get a skin in Smite 1. A skin in Smite 2, and the gems you spent for the skin in Smite 1,
the legacy
you also
gems.
get the legacy gems for Smite 2.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
So you get a lot of everything with it. Few people I've been seeing, whether it be here or also just in general social media, and maybe this is more of a question for somebody outside of our immediate scope, is the asking about things like the cross-gen or the battle pass style events where we do like a ×2 booster for those. Do you have any insight maybe on that, Danny, if we're doing any more of like the booster style of events?
For Smite 1?
For Smite 1.
There's a chance that we will. I know that we've slowed those down a little bit for Smite 1. I know to help make up for that to help the bang for the buck, like you mentioned, if you buy, and of course, next pass isn't a cross-gen pass, but this cross-gen pass, the Demon Scourge pass, that's live till next Thursday. If you bought that in Smite 1, especially the premium track, you immediately get both skins in Smite 2, regardless of if you finish the battle pass or not, or the cross-gen pass or not. So you're definitely getting your Smite 2 skins, regardless of whether you had the time to grind through the Smite 1 battle pass. If you want them in Smite 1, of course, you either have to buy your way through the pass or grind it. So we could probably do that. I know that that's something we definitely used to do, was make kind of the last weekend 2 times like cross-gen pass or battle pass points. So I'll double check. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but it's something that we could make happen potentially.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, we're definitely keeping an eye on what keeps people engaged between like events and things like that, and we're planning to get systems in to like make those more accessible and easier for us to actually put into action. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to even get some worshiper events in Smite 2. No ETA on that, but everybody loves worshiper events.
People do love worshiper events.
It's definitely something that's been talked about. I mean, like a lot of things, right? If it's something in Smite 1 that people loved, it's been talked about for Smite 2. It's just where on the timeline, And
I think that goes also similar answers towards things like the gem sales is not sure, but can always double check and make sure that there's any kind of gem sales that might be going on. I know I've seen a couple people ask about gem sales as well. So
our marketing goats are definitely going through that, I'm sure, at this point in time.
We have multiple people on the marketing team that we're constantly keeping check with, so we'll check in there and see if there's anything that's going to be coming up for the remainder of the year and whatnot. I guess one question, if you happen to know the answer on this one, is this also going to be a patch that will be a 6-week cycle Because I know that 11-10 was a
Ooh,
6-week cycle.
That I don't know.
Okay.
It's a good question. I feel
I'd have
like
to look at
I
the
haven't heard
calendar.
that it has been. Off the top of my head, I would assume it's a 4-week cycle, but we'll double check and y'all will certainly know first. And I can add it to the patch notes as well.
Okay.
I have a 0 and the potential that information to add. I'm keeping a mental note.
He's actually got a mental sticky note pad that he keeps, and he just mentally rips one off and goes to the next one whenever he's done.
It's absolutely a
He
horrible way
just
to do
sticks
things.
it on the inside like crevices of his brain.
I am definitely Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like, I don't write things down. I just forget stuff like a cool person. So,
Was there any other questions in chat that y'all saw?
yeah, we have time for probably 1 or 2 more, I think, before we...
One more question.
One more question.
I know one person was asking about reporting people for stuff from voice chat for Smite 2. Report them with the in-game feature. That's the easiest way to do so. If you have recordings of it as well, that definitely helps if you report that via like a report out of game and whatnot. But that's the best way to do it at this moment is to report in game.
For sure.
And that goes for Smite 1 too. If you're having problems with people in game or anything like that, using the in-game feature is one of the best means
And
of doing
make sure
so.
you type something in the box. Don't just report them for AFK.
Right.
Make sure you're saying exactly what they're doing. I'm just telling you.
It helps.
The
It
more
actually
details,
helps.
the better.
Yeah.
Here you go, here's one for you to sticky note is
Okay.
Persephone Ultimate being 140 mana, maybe a buff to that one to help its mana cost.
That is a lot of
Highest
mana
cost in the
cost.
game.
There's a mental note for us on that one. What's everyone at the desk's favorite Smite 2 feature? I mean,
Oh,
I'll do that as my final question. We'll do
Ooh.
one more question for each of us.
Oh,
that'll be the one I pull.
Oh,
from.
you
Oh,
took
What's
the
frick.
cool, you took the
Oh,
cool
gosh.
final
Yeah, I
one.
took the cool one. I mean, it's Smite 2 related, but it's still a fun one to
yeah.
ask.
I love hybrid scaling. I think it's so cool to be able to pick and choose like what parts of my character work in different ways and more powerful than others. Like being able to do that like on Nemesis was a really big exciting feature for us to do, between like the health shield if you want to get a really big shield, or if you want to reflect a lot of damage, or if you want to heal a lot of damage. You can pick your build and kind of like customize your Nemesis to be any of those specific things, and it just works in whichever build that you want to go for. That was generally one of the biggest things that made me excited about playing Smite 2 was just how much more open the builds can be, and playing hybrid characters is just so fun, dude. I love it.
See, I hate to. I'm gonna jump on that train. One, this isn't exactly. I don't think this exactly counts, but I am gonna say the graphical update's huge for me. I am just a sucker for pretty looking games. I've played some really bad games that looked really good and still enjoyed myself because I'm like, but it's so pretty. So I love that. Our team is amazing, but I super agree with the build thing. Last night I was literally running down some arena queues and I was like, you know what? It's time to build full like hunter item Nuwa. Like I want to hit the stun, and I was doing comparable damage to the other mages on my team, the other like hunters on my team, and I was like, I love that I can build all of these physical damage hunter items, and I get no ability scaling. Whatever, doesn't really matter to me. My auto attack scale with the damage, like I'm getting all the benefits of being an auto attack character.
Yeah.
I love it. So I have to agree with you, Lermy. Like build diversity
That's
was
what I'm
something
talking
that is
about.
like every god we add feels as if they are 3 different gods compared to Smite 1 now, because you can just build it so many different ways and play so many different roles.
Oh my god, when I was working through the recommended item builds for Nemesis, I was like, do I have enough slots?
Right?
It's like
Every build.
What do you mean? I only get to do 3 of them.
Yeah.
You could be a basic attacker, you could be a strength scaler, you could be an in scaler, you could be a soul laner, you could be anything you want to be.
And it's not like a mage
Support,
build
I'm
where it's
ready.
like burst
Well.
mage, 5 mage items, or like sustain mage, 5 mage items, but this one's different. It's like entirely different items completely for each. It's so cool.
yeah, love it.
I think that's the same line for me. I won't go super in depth, but just the build diversity of Smite 2, of being able to build anything on any character and essentially kind of try them in all kinds of new roles.
Right?
Me,
Oh,
I'm known as the weird.
Oh.
I'm known as the weirdo amongst the team. I like to play whatever I can and
J-Mac.
support.
J-Mac,
It's
J-Mac.
goofy. It's
If
probably
I
not
see you
good.
pick Zeus support in my game,
Look,
Cheers.
it cooked at the beginning when I could do 6 actives and it didn't matter what's my damage
The
because I had 6
6
active
build
Zeus.
was so
Now it's not
classic.
as good because I can only do 3. It's not as crazy and criminal. Before it was though.
Criminal.
Now it's not quite as much. But that's kind of my fun there. So
cool.
any other questions that we want to throw an answer to for?
I think we're
the
about
game?
ready.
I need
think.
Marty and Smite 2. I appreciate you.
True.
Oh, okay,
Honestly,
gotcha.
I
I'm
love
glad someone.
Marty is top 5 hunter, so I agree. I'm on the Marty train. So although Atlas Stan, haha, but
Gosh, that character is gonna be crazy. in Smite
Sylvanas
2.
me.
What if we just make? What if Atlas's +1 is just he's really tall?
We just make him really big.
He's really
Yes.
tall.
He scales off int, but that's only his height scales
just
off
don't
of
just
int.
don't change his voice though. I love his voice. So, or his hair. His hair just has to be
We
cooler
just give
looking.
his voice more bass,
Yeah.
and it just echoes.
The more it scales with his. Oh. All right. Anyway, I think that's a great place to wrap the show.
I think so. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming out to
Yes,
the
it's been
Smite
great.
1 11.11 Dev Insight to talk about the bites from the past. This update's going to be going out next week. Tentatively Tuesday. It might be Thursday.
Yeah,
No, tentatively Thursday.
This one's
Smite 2.
Thursday.
Tuesday.
Smite 2 Tuesday, Smite 1 Thursday.
Yeah.
For sure.
So for this 11/11 Smite 1, look out for it on Thursday, which will be 11/14.
You got
if
it.
I got my numbers and my dates
I
correctly.
do
I know how to
believe
do
so.
I
basic
believe
math.
you.
So thank you all for coming out for the Dev
I'm glad you
Insight.
do. I
Yeah.
don't.
But make sure you guys stick around a little bit because we're not done with the fun. Instead, we're going to be
Casual
cutting the
Friday.
stream. Will cut off for a brief moment, and then
Whoa.
we'll bring it back up because we got Casual Friday. We're going to be playing some Friday casuals and doing a little bit of esports talk after that as well. So thank you all so much for coming out. But that's going to do it for us today, and we'll see y'all next time.
Later, fam.